Hi everybody, it's Yasmin here and I am about to go live for the very first time on Unity Online Radio. So if you would like me to take your call, I would love to take your call. I just need to work out the phone number to get you to call in on. I'm going to have to ask Louis to, not Louis my son, Louis at Unity Online Radio, to let me know the phone number. Maybe you can put that in the oh no, here we go. Oh no. Anyway, I'm not sure of the number. So in the meantime, you can always put a question below and I will be able to see it. That's very weird. I can see myself doing this on the screen. There we go. Hi, Alex, Vitillo, Paulina, Kamal, Sue, great. So give me some questions and I will, I'm just going to leave a note for the guys saying, may I have the number for people to call in on? Thanks, darling. Come and say hello. Come and say hello. This is my saving man who helps me. Hello. Thanks, darling. Okay, so the number, call, I have the number. Okay, I'm going to give you the number. I'm going to put it on Facebook as well. The number to call is plus, well, from the USA. There you go. So the number to call is 816-251-3555. That is 816-251-3555. So yeah, I'm excited. Who wants to get their chart read? I haven't done this for so long. Lorna Jane Pelt, my date of birth is 9562. Are you sure? Do you mean 1962? Or do you mean the 9th of May 62? Or do you mean the 5th of September? I don't know. Anyway, I'll tell you how long we've got to go. We're going to be live in a minute. Where's that stack? We'll be going live in about 3.5 minutes. So stay on the line, please, guys. Oh, here we go. Mercedes, my boyfriend is moving 5 states away. I don't know what to do or if it will work. All right, good. So I've got questions coming in. That's great.
I'm reminding you. My beautiful darling, would you do the dailies, please?
That's my reminder. Alexa, stop. Can't have Alexa reminding me of things while I'm on the air. Lorna Jane, I can see your birthday now. Oh, happy birthday for 2 days ago. You need to ask me a question as well. Okay, this is going to be great, everybody. This is going to be great. Got about 3 minutes. Just give me a second. I just want to quickly just do a little something here for myself. So, right. Hopefully I will be told when we're about to start. All right, so let me see. I have the most amazing setup here. My husband's setting me up. Okay. Oh, Christine Strub. It would be so cool if you could call in. Is anyone calling in yet? Oh, we have calls coming in. Brilliant. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a combination of, if you're in Australia, please, or England, please mention that on the chat, because that means you can't really call in because of the cost. So I'll try and answer questions from Australia and the UK on Facebook, from Facebook, and from everyone else can call in. We have people calling in, which is great. Oh my goodness. about a minute or so left to go. I'm going to hear my music for the first time. And have you tuned in? You must tune in. It's unityonlineradio.org. unityonlineradio.org. Oh, Martine, an Aussie in the UK. Melissa, career move time. So if you put the note on Facebook, you need to put time and date and place. I need all three. Otherwise, I'll just do you a card. Thanks, Louis. Louis. My son's name is Louis, I'm just telling you. Except he's Louis. All right. Okay, so less than a minute. Oh my gosh. Let's have a look at the chart, shall we? What is going on? Right, here we go. I'm creating a... What's that? Oh, good. Thank you. Hello everybody and welcome to my first show on Unity Online Radio. Some of you will have listened to my show on Hay House Radio and I cried when that ended, and I can tell you I'm just about in tears at starting up again. So I'm so happy to be back on the airwaves. I'm broadcasting live as well on my Facebook page, which is Yasmin Boland. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an astrologer, I'm a moonologer, and I'm an author. Some of my books include Moonology, which is all about working with the magic of the lunar cycles, and also Astrology Made Easy is one of them, which teaches you astrology. The Mercury Retrograde book I co-authored with Kim Farnell. And so what I'm going to be doing on this show every week is taking a look at the week ahead, having a look at the astrology that's coming up for the week ahead, and also taking your calls, which is kind of the most fun part of it, which I'm really, really happy to be doing. So right now, the moon is in Capricorn, the sun is in Taurus, Libra is rising, and it's going to be a great show. So there you go. So where shall I start? Let's start by taking a little look at the astrology for the week ahead. We already have people waiting to speak, but let's just first of all take a look at the astrology for the week ahead. So the first thing to know is that we just had the full moon, and those of you who follow me on Facebook will have seen me out in the garden doing my fire pit that I do. We did chanting, we did meditations, and you know, the full moon is a really emotional time, and this was a really emotional full moon for a lot of people this week. So if you've been feeling a bit emotionally drained, now you know why. There was a full moon in the sign of Scorpio, and Scorpio is always, you know, such an intense sign everywhere. And before all the Scorpios get upset with me for saying that, we all have all 12 signs in our chart. So we all have Scorpio in our chart somewhere. For example, for me, it rules my 7th house, which is relationships. It might rule your 10th house of career or so on. That's why it's so good to get to know your chart. So we had this super intense full moon. And then today, which is Monday, May 11, we actually started the day off. We had Mercury, the planet of communications, clashing with Mars. And I've been feeling quite wrung out, I have to say. I was actually up really, really late working, and then I woke up relatively early with the sun like I always do. And I've been doing a daily message on Facebook, and I got on there and I was saying, oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted. You know, Mercury smashing into Mars is whipping my butt. And And so many people responded and said, yeah, me too. I feel exhausted. And the other thing a lot of people said, and I totally relate to this, is they felt really emotional. And I've been feeling really emotional as well. We're all in lockdown. The world is changed. You know, here in the UK, we had an address from our Prime Minister last night that left a lot of people kind of scratching their heads, not exactly sure what's going on. You know, and I'm not going to have a go at the government because for one thing, this is not the forum, and for another, that's just not my style anyway. But, you know, there was a lot of people saying, oh, there's no certainty. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And, you know, that's kind of a problem for people because, you know, humans like certainty. But, you know, the astrology that's going on at the moment is not really about certainty, not least because, well, I don't want to get too technical, but right now we have Venus clashing with Neptune, the planet of confusion. So there is a lot of confusion around. And I might say especially for women, it's a confusing time for a lot of people, let's put it like that. So all in all, it's a strange time. Do we all agree? I think we do. So let me just take a look at the astrology for the week ahead. And maybe I'll take a look at the first couple of days and then I'll take your call because there's some quite big things going on. So one of the very biggest things going on is the fact that actually today, Saturn, the planet of karma, is changing directions. It's actually stalling and going into a retrograde cycle. Now, Saturn is retrograde a lot, okay? The outer planets are retrograde a lot. So it's not like when Mercury goes retrograde or Venus goes retrograde, which is actually happening this week. It's not quite the same thing, but it kind of means that Saturn is making itself known, okay? And that can be quite a tough thing. Excuse me. So I have a glass of water here. It's actually cordial. That can be a big thing because Saturn is a really heavy planet. It's a planet of karma, and it's the planet that weighs hard on us. I can't believe it, I'm coughing. I never cough. Sorry, guys. It's a planet, I think there's something in my throat. Yeah, no, Saturn, when it gets triggered, it kind of slows us all down. It can feel really dreary. It can feel really tiring. And, you know, that's one of the reasons probably why people like me are feeling quite exhausted. And also lots of work issues can come up as well. So, you know, that's a very big thing that's happening this week. So if you're feeling tired, you're feeling emotional, you're probably post full moon, Saturn going retrograde, Mercury was squaring Mars, which means a lot of us didn't get much sleep last night because our minds have been on fire, but not necessarily in a good way. And now what's about to happen is actually Mercury is about to move into the sign of Gemini, which is brilliant because Mercury is the communication planet and Gemini is the communication sign. So having them in together is quite nice. And then Mercury's going to align with Saturn, which is also really good because it means we're all going to start to feel a bit more on an even keel. Not to say that all the confusion we've been feeling will just magically disappear, but overall it should be it should start to get a lot better. Now let me just make sure. I'm just going to go and see if I can take a call. Okay, who is to be the first person that gets to speak on the radio? And I am going to take the caller on line 1, Adele. Are you there, Adele? Now, is that Adele who's been coming on to my chanting every day? I thought it might be. How are you? Oh, no, I was thinking today I'd love to speak to you. So there you go. That's what happens when you put it out there. I'm just trying to see did Louis take your birth details? He took your date of birth. I'm just trying to find out where they are. You don't mind telling me over the airwaves? Oh, they're in the note. I'm getting a note. They're in the notes section. I just have to find where the notes section is. Hang on a second. I can see chat. I can see screen calls. I can see big time. I cannot see the notes section. That's a bit annoying. Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ask you, Adele, to tell us all. Nobody knows your surname, so nobody can do anything much with your information. So tell me, what's your birth date? December 1st, 1980 what? Sorry, say it again. Okay, and what time? 21:16. And where were you born, Adele? Okay, got it. All right, I have your chart. So, have you had your chart read before, Adele? Right, yes, no, everybody's chart is different, and you actually only get, you never get a repeat of a chart except every 26,000 years. So no one has the same chart as you for 26,000 years. So you are unique. I've just realised all the people on Facebook can't hear Adele. Give me a minute and I'll do a bit more astrology before we cut off the Facebook call. Sorry about that, guys. Or tune in now. You can listen to both, unityonlineradio.org. So, okay, so you are a Sagittarian with Leo rising and a Gemini moon. So there you go. Right, very interesting. So let's just see what is going. Do you have a question, or would you just like a general reading? Okay, all right. So the first thing to know is, like I said, nobody has the same chart as you except every 26,000 years, unless they happen to be born at the exact same moment as you in the same place, which is, you know, possible. There may have been another, you know, baby born in the same hospital very, very close to the same time as you, but, you know, it's a very personal chart that you have. So some people have their planets all spread out throughout the chart, and some people have them all concentrated like you have them. I would say not 100% concentrated, because you've kind of got your Pluto and your Saturn off a bit and your Mars off a bit and your moon on the opposite side. So, you know, they're quite concentrated. You do have Uranus, the Sun, Mercury, Venus and Neptune all in the sign of Sagittarius, and all in the 5th house. So basically what that suggests is that, well, apart from anything else, I'm sure a few years ago was pretty rough, because you've had quite a lot of heavy duty activity in your chart for quite a long time, but that's done and dusted, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. You are absolutely into a new cycle. It also makes you something of a fun lover, someone who just wants to have fun, someone who is kind of adventurous, and someone who really, you know, knows how to enjoy life, really. You're a very communicative person. You love to communicate. You love to chat. You've actually got a really nice chart. And I'll tell you something, Adele. This might sound a bit funny, but, you know, for those of you who are listening who don't know, I'm doing daily chanting on Zoom while we go through this whole pandemic situation. And we have about 40 or 50 people turning up every day and chanting along with me. If you want to tune in, you can just go to moonmessages.com/FB events, FB for Facebook. So it's moonmessages.com/FB events, and it will take you to the page where you can just sign up for the Zoom link. It's free, of course. And we just get on there and chant. But Adele, you somehow really stood out on all those 40 people. And I would say it's because of this chart you've got, which is really kind of just fun, a good vibe, good energy. So, you know, even though you will obviously go through ups and downs like everybody, you know, basically if you can continue to have fun in your life, you'll be kind of living out the promise of your birth chart. I will say, how's your love life at the moment? Right, because you've actually got Saturn has just moved into your 7th house. So for the next 2 years, either you could get involved with someone who's much older or much younger, or you'll be learning lots of really important lessons from the most important people in your life, which of course would include your daughter. Is it Daisy, did you tell me? Maisie. Yeah, so, but basically, there's lots of lessons coming to you from your most important relationships over the coming 2 years. But actually, the planet of good luck and good times, Jupiter is also about to go into your 7th house of love. So let me just quickly see when that's going to happen. Actually, that's going to happen at the end of the year. At the end of the year is actually your best chance. Sorry. Right. Well, basically, the end of the year is your best chance to get married. It's the start of it. It will last for about 2 years that you've had for 12 years. So, you know, keep your eyes open. And it doesn't mean you could meet them now and then it sort of all, you know, comes to a head at the end of the year. All right, so I'm just going to draw you a card. Just going to draw you a card. Hang on a second. Okay. Oh, I see where the birth times are. I see them now. Okay, Adele, here's your card. Are you ready for a card? Oh, you got this card that everybody keeps getting. It's the don't let pride get in your way card. So whatever it is you want to do, don't let your pride... Oh, those of you who can't hear her, she's making noises. Why are you making those noises, Adele? Oh, she pulled that card as well. I see. So have you been letting your pride become an obstacle? Is the question you're asking based on your ego or from your heart? And you are Leo rising, let's face it. So, you know, you do have to be careful about not letting your pride get in your way. So whatever your most pressing question is, Adele, I would just say, don't let pride get in your way. All right? All right. Yeah. What's that? Oh, absolutely. You would have, I'm sure you went through hellfire and you're out of it, totally out of it now, and you'll never have it again to that degree this lifetime, because the planet that was involved, like there were 3 planets involved, Pluto, Saturn and Jupiter, but Pluto, unless you live to about 250 years old, you'll never experience that again. Ah, well, let it go. Let it go. My pleasure. I'll see you tomorrow or whenever for our chanting. See you, Adele. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for being the first caller. So those of you who like chanting, let me just tell you what I'm doing. I've been doing it now for 40 days and a bit. It's a kind of an initiative that's come out of India from an ashram that I go to, and it's chanting to the goddess Kali, K-A-L-I, to help rid the world of disease and fear and negativity. So same address as I gave you before. If you want to tune in, we chant every morning. I'm afraid for those of you in the States who are on the West Coast, it's a ridiculous hour. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. But for the East Coast, it's 6:11 a.m. in New York, if you want to start your day a bit early. Here in London, it's 11:11 a.m. And in Sydney, it's 8:11 p.m. So there you go. So I want to talk a little bit, before we take another call, I want to talk a little bit about Venus retrograde, because Venus retrograde will be starting this week, and it's a really, really rare and important cycle. Well, it's quite rare. It only happens about every 18 months. Whereas, for example, with Mercury retrograde, Mercury goes backwards up to 4 times a year, okay? Mercury is the planet of communications. Venus is the planet of love and abundance, okay? So when Venus is going backwards, it's a very interesting time for love and for finances. Now, obviously, finances are a pretty hot issue for a lot of people right now because of the pandemic, and some people are suffering quite badly when it comes to money at the moment. So, what's Venus retrograde going to mean for you? Well, the best possible scenario with Venus retrograde is that you can either go back to some way you used to make money before. You could finally kind of hatch an idea you've been working on for a while. Maybe that you started under a previous Venus retrograde, which is, say, about a year and a half ago. Maybe you never really saw it through, like a side hustle that you decide to finally get online with. Especially online, of course, works at the moment. Now, it can also be a time when money is delayed, okay? But it doesn't mean it's never going to turn up. So if money you're waiting for is delayed, try to be positive about the idea it's eventually going to come. But I think you could say more than that. Venus retrograde is actually about, well, it's also about love, okay? Let's cover that. It's about re-evaluating your relationships. It's about lots of people have been reporting to me that they're getting calls from their ex, okay? That is so Venus retrograde, calls from their exes or texts or messages or whatever. It's so Venus retrograde because Venus is the planet of love, and when a planet goes retrograde, the past is brought up. So a lot of people are having their romantic past brought up. Venus doesn't actually officially go retrograde for 2 more days on May the 13th, but we are already into what you would call the pre-shadow phase, the pre-phase. We're already into it, it just hasn't officially started. So if you have a lover who has sort of come out of the woodwork and you're wondering what it all means, well, the thing is, when Venus is retrograde, it really is a time to think about relationships that didn't work out, which come to your mind, and either you can get closure, but it can also be a time for reconciliation, okay? Now, I'm really cautious in saying that because I know, a lot of people, if they're dreaming of their ex-lover, and if I say to you, oh yes, well, you're probably going to reconcile because Venus is going retrograde. It's not true. It's not true that you're probably going to reconcile, but it is true that people often will reconcile. And I think it's fair to say, that it's one of the most likely times to reunite with a partner. And by the way, actually today I have released a free 3-part Venus retrograde mini course. So if you are interested, the other thing I should just say before I give you the details of that, Venus retrograde is actually also really good for making up with a friend if you've fallen out with a friend. And it's just a really good time to reevaluate everything, okay? And who isn't reevaluating stuff right now with this lockdown? Unless you're a key worker, in which case, thank you for your hard work, what you're doing for us. But if you're like the rest of us, cooped up at home, who isn't reevaluating? I mean, I've been reevaluating so much in my life, because what are you going to do at home with 24 hours a day? There's only so much Netflix you can actually watch, right? So it's a really, really good time to reevaluate. If you would like to hop on and check out my free Venus retrograde course, It's moonmessages.com/VenusRx. Moonmessages.com /VenusRx, which stands for retrograde. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be bombarding you with URLs, but it's all free stuff and it all just comes to mind because I try and help people to tap into the energies, really. So let's go to the lines again and take another call. If I can just find my way back to the calls. There they are. All right, let's go to Carmen. Carmen is in Indianapolis. Are you there? Oh, actually, sorry, I've just taken Carmen off the wrong list. Is Carmen there, or shall I go to the screened calls list? I think I better go to this. Sorry, Louis, should I speak to Carmen? Okay, Carmen, you are on the air. How's life? Hello. So, were you born in Indianapolis? Lafayette. Lafayette. I'm just doing your chart. Is that Indiana? Okay. Oops. And what time were you born, Carmen? All right, that sounds pretty precise actually. Was your mum making note? Okay, so Carmen, have you had your chart done before? Okay, so let me just double check your details here because I don't want to give you a bum steer. So, okay. All right, 4:42 a.m. in Lafayette, Indiana. Okay, so you, my dear, are a Piscean with Capricorn rising and an Aries moon. So if we put that together, you're a dreamer who comes across probably as a little bit more organized than you are. You can fudge being organized, put it like that. People will take you seriously even if you're secretly daydreaming out the window. And you have an Aries moon, which means that you are someone who needs a lot of kind of spontaneity. You need life to be exciting and to keep going forward. You've actually got some quite conflicting energies in your chart. So you've probably got like lots of different facets to your personality. So one day you might be the dreamer and the poet and the visionary off with the fairies. And the next day you might be giving a presentation where people are hanging on to your every word because they think you're a big expert. And then the next day you'll be like, I just need to play and have fun. And so you've kind of got a really nice chart, Carmen. So, oh, what? So, hello? Ah, right. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Is there any way you'd give like a minute's warning on that, just in case I forget in the heat of the moment? Yeah, no, just in my ears is good if you don't mind. Like, otherwise I just see it now. 1 minute to your outro music. Sorry. I thought, what's happening? I thought maybe I'd gone off the air and you were like covering it. Right. Okay, brilliant. I could probably set a timer, but if you're able to give me a 1 minute warning, just because I'm sure I'll forget, get carried away. Awesome. I've worked it out. Yes, there. Yeah, no, that's great. Time and place would also be absolutely awesome because then I don't have to ask them. Oh, it's underneath. Yes, and the time would be great as well. How long have we got on this break? Okay, I'm going to talk to the Facebook people and tell them how to get on this thing. Facebook people, hello guys. I don't know what you want to do because I know that you can't hear what I'm hearing. Are you tuned into the show on unityonlineradio.org? Because then it would be good, because then if you can listen to that, then you'll be able to hear me answering your question. But you need to sort of listen to both, basically. unityonlineradio.org. Oh my God, it's very intense. Poor Carmen just sitting there. I don't know if she knows what happened. Hayley, I just got your message. Thank you, Hayley. No, there's a break halfway through the show, which I completely forgot about, where they started playing music in my ears for the break, and I'm like, have I gone off the air? And they're just like covering. And if I've gone off the air, how can I still hear? Oh my goodness, it's all very exciting. All right, let me choose a question. I'm going to find a question to answer when we go back on. Someone's AOIFE Mac. Oh, please tell me how to pronounce your name. Can you write it down in the comments, please? 3 seconds. I'm going to answer a question off Facebook anyway, guys. I would attempt to. How do I know when I'm back on? Am I back on? Oh, okay. Thanks, Louis. All right, we are back after that unforeseen break in the proceedings. Sorry, guys, I've been taught all this by the fantastic team at Unity Online Radio. But as I was saying, I think before I came on air, you know Total Recall, where they insert memories? I feel like someone extracted all the memories that I had with the team from Unity telling me what to do. I can't remember anything, so I'm sort of winging it as we go. What I do know is that before the break, we were talking to Carmen. Are you still there, Carmen? I'm so sorry about that, Carmen. I completely forgot that I was meant to have a break halfway through the show. Silly me. Thank you. So what would you like to know about today? What do you need to know about? Okay, you're an entrepreneur. So what's happening at the moment? Are you killing it? Because like a lot of people in this pandemic lockdown situation are working on their side hustle or their hustle like never before, and they're crushing it, to use entrepreneurial speak. Are you crushing it at the moment, or are you feeling a bit lost, or what's happening? Okay, it's more what, sorry? Okay, so why don't you tell us what your line of business is, Carmen? Okay, so you help people discover their life purpose. Fantastic. Okay, so in your case, the Capricorn rising that we were talking about, I think you couldn't speak just before the break because the music was coming on. But you know, I was saying you can make presentations, and that will also come out as you teaching. Capricorn is very much about the sign that teaching people as well. So, okay, look, I'm going to give you a really non-astrological response because I'm quite into digital marketing. I love getting my message out there to the world. And I have 2 words for you to get visibility. Are you ready? Facebook ads. Hey, you're laughing, so you get it. Yeah, like, you know, that's what you do. You have to create an offer that people want, and then you put Facebook ads, and people will come, and if they like what you do, they'll pick up what you're putting down, as they say. I mean, looking at your chart, you have a chart where you can really change people. And actually, you'd be really good at working in sort of the relationship sphere as well, helping people with their relationships, because you've got Pluto in Libra in your 10th house. So that would really, really work nicely for you. You're also about to have Venus. The Venus retrograde that's coming up is actually going to be taking place in your 6th house of work. So it may well be that your efforts are finally going to start to pay off. But you do have to, if you want visibility, you know, the first thing to do is a really cheap, like whether it's a boosted post that's a killer post that's going to make people want to, you know, read more about what you have to offer, or running Facebook ads, which is a bit more expensive, but, you know, probably more effective. You know, you've got a great chart for getting out there and helping people to change their life. So it's almost like you have a little bit of a responsibility. Plus also, Carmen, you know, you've actually had Saturn and Jupiter and Pluto all going over your ascendant in the last, let me see how long, it might be about a year, might be a bit longer, let's have a look. Yeah, no, the last year and a half, you've had really a chance to shed your skin and to sort of show the world a different side of you, and to kind of become another world, another person, and to sort of just rebirth the way the world sees you. So, you know, you still got that energy in your chart, so I would just go for that and do the Facebook ads. Would you like a card? You didn't think you were going to ring up for spiritual and astrology advice and get told to run Facebook ads, did you? Yeah, but you know, it's a good thing to do, but you need the ads as well, trust me, and that's for anybody who's listening. Let's all take over the internet with amazing holistic offerings that will help unite the world and make the world a better place, you know. So I do have a card, and the people who are watching me on Facebook will vouch for this. It jumped out of the pack and I had to bend over and pick it up. So are you ready to hear what the card says, Carmen? Brace yourself. It's the new moon in Taurus card, and it says prosperity lies ahead. You can't really ask for better than that, frankly. So I think on that note, we'll say the universe has answered your questions. Okay, well, cool. Thank you for calling in. Let me take another call. My pleasure, thank you. Let's go to Jennifer on line 2. Oh, Jennifer was born on the 4th of July. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, where are you, Jennifer? And where are you from? Are you Australian? Yay! Yes, I'm sort of a Sydney girl. I lived in Sydney a long time. So, Jennifer, what time were you born? And were you born in Sydney? Yep. 540. Okay. All right. Right. Well, you were born at the very end, like the one big thing that could be very different on your chart when you're a twin is your rising sign, and that then makes your whole chart completely different. It would kind of depend how long after he was born. But let's talk about you for now. So have you had your chart done before? Oh, okay, all right. Well, So in Western astrology, I'm not sure about Kabbalah astrology, although I did study Kabbalah for a little bit. You are a Cancerian, or as I like to call it, a moon child, with Capricorn rising, like actually Carmen, the previous caller. Oh my gosh, actually, and you've also got an Aries moon like the previous caller. So that's quite unusual. It must be Capricorn rising Aries moon day today. And a fellow water sign. Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about what you've got in your chart, which is kind of interesting. Guess what? You were born with Venus actually going backwards. So Venus, you were born with Venus retrograde. So in fact, now this week, as we go into this Venus retrograde phase, it's actually going to be a very interesting time for you, because it's kind of like you're moving into your natural habitat. So it's a bit like if you're born with Mercury retrograde. When Mercury goes retrograde, you're kind of more used to that feeling, because you were born with it, so it actually suits you. And in your case, you were born with Venus retrograde. So Venus retrograde, which we're going into now, will last for about 40 days, is going to suit you. So what are you going to do with it? What's happening in your life? What would you like to know, and what can I answer for you? Okay. Okay, let's start with that. So Jennifer's saying that her partner isn't as spiritual as she is, and they're clashing as a result. So you want to be careful. You want to weigh up how much this fellow means to you, because Venus retrograde is actually going to be triggering your Venus, okay? Venus is going to go retrograde at around about 21 degrees of Gemini, and your Venus is actually at 18 degrees of Gemini. So you're going to feel the Venus retrograde quite a lot. Is he in Israel as well? Yeah, he's a Virgo. So, I mean, basically, Jennifer, you need to just... So, Venus retrograde is a time when everybody starts to weigh up what really matters to them. Okay, so it sounds like in your case, one of the things you will be weighing up is, how important is it to me that my partner is spiritual? You know, that's the kind of thing that people do when Venus is retrograde. Another thing that you might do would be, for example, someone who works really, really hard. You know, they might say, you know, how hard am I willing to work for the money that I want? Or someone else might say, you know, I want to reevaluate my health. You know, how much do I want to be healthy, and what efforts am I willing to make in that direction, since I really want to be healthy, or whatever. So in your case, it really does sound like the question of how important is it to me that my partner is spiritual? And that's not a question you have to answer now, okay? And it's not even a question you necessarily can answer now, because part of the whole thing with these retrogrades is they play out and they trigger events which make us kind of do the work that needs to be done. So in your case, it's going to be, how long have you been together? 4 years. Yeah, so, you know, that's quite a long time. You've already invested quite a lot of time. But if you're ringing up and asking the question, then chances are it matters quite a lot to you. So I would say, you know, live consciously. And people say, what does it mean to live consciously? Well, you probably know, because you're a spiritual type. But, you know, basically it means be conscious, be aware, and see how big a thing is it going to be for me. Because, you know, it's all very well being together 4 years and it's all still fairly new and you know, lovely. But in 15 years, if you're even more down the spiritual track and he's even less, is that going to bother you or not? My dad was a psychiatrist who specialised in well, amongst other things, relationships. He actually did a lot of work with drug and alcohol abuse as well, but he did a lot with relationships. And he used to say to me that in any relationship, there are always going to be kind of mismatches. And the question is, are the mismatches deal breakers or not? You know, you might say, well, you know, he's so great in every other way, I can put up with him not being that spiritual. So that's basically your Venus retrograde homework for the coming 40 days or so. And if you haven't got it, get my free Venus retrograde course, moonmessages.com/Venus RX, which is RX stands for retrograde. Grab that. It's 3 parts, and it will give you an idea of what Venus retrograde means in a very overall sense, and then it would also help you drill down on what Venus retrograde actually means for you. So that would be my suggestion. What was your other question, Jennifer? Right. So that's a very interesting question, actually. So basically, what you need to do is start to learn a bit about astrology, and you will see that everything has its place in your chart. So you're soft and vulnerable Cancerian, but you can use your Capricorn rising to come across as someone with authority when you need to. You know, you're a possibly clinging, insecure Cancerian, like many of us are. I'm a fellow moon child. But you've got your lovely Aries moon there, which is actually going to help you to stay independent and not be too cloying. You know, like my chart, my poor husband, it's like I got my claws into him and that's it. There's no escape. Whereas you can actually balance out your need to, you know, be reassured with actually your need to have adventures and go off and do stuff. So can you see what I mean? Like, try and look for the good things in each of the signs and work on sort of like bringing those energies out in your chart. And can I just, does that make any sense, Adele? Sorry, Jennifer, put Adele on the brain now. Poor girl, she'll think I'm stalking her. Does that make sense, Jennifer? Exactly. You got it. Thank you for explaining it back to me, because that means I know you understood. Listen, I also drew you a card, and I think it relates to your first question. You actually got the full moon in Cancer, which the message there is a personal issue reaches resolution. So maybe things are going to come to a head with your partner, and it's going to be easy for you to make decisions about what you want to do. Yeah, the lunation doesn't really matter. The point is a personal resolution is going to, a personal issue is going to come to a resolution. Oh, okay. Well then go and have a look at the full moon in Cancer card and read that. Read the interpretations. My absolute pleasure. Thank you. So I wanted to see if I could take a question from Facebook, because I know that there are some people who are, you know, in Australia or England who don't necessarily want to ring up and hang around on the line for ages and ages. So let me see if I can find a question there. Facebook's sort of playing up for me a bit, and it's not showing me all. I can see there are 185 comments, but I can only see 4 of them. Here's Sally Jenkins Jones is in New York, so she could call in. Sally, you could call in, but I'll give you a quick card. A Gemini with Cancer rising, at a crossroads and wondering about direction. Here we go, Sally. I'll give you a card. And I'm sorry, hopefully next week I'll be able to see the, there we go, I'll be able to see the questions on Facebook. Oh, wow, you got a good card. You got the same card as I think it was Carmen got. Anyone on Facebook, you just saw me shuffling. It's so funny. It's like it always happens that a card will come up again and again. You got the New Moon in Taurus card, Sally. Prosperity lies ahead. So whatever's happening, prosperity awaits you. So choose boldly about which direction you're going to go for. Okay, so Sally is saying, not sure how this works. Okay, so just for anybody else who's wondering how to call in for next week, to call in, the number is, so first of all, if you're in these states, it's 816-251-3555. 816-251-3555 is the number to call if you would like me to take a look at your chart. And I can just say I get requests to look at people's chart all the time, and I don't really look at people's charts very much anymore because I'm so busy doing writing, writing all my horoscopes, writing all my courses, writing all my books and so on. And it's a really, really kind of time-consuming thing to sit down and do a 1-hour consultation. It's not just the 1 hour because you have to do lots of preparation before. Here, it's like seat of the pants, first big picture stuff that leaps out of your chart and a card just to back it all up. So this is where I'm going to do reading. So if you want a reading, this is where to get a reading. Okay, I'm not sure actually, Louis, can you please tell me how much longer do we have so I can work out what I should do at this point? If I could take another call or, oh, we've got 6 minutes. Okay, so let's just take one more call. I was going to take Tina in New York. Tina, hopefully, hi Tina, how are you? Very well, thank you. So you're in New York. Where in New York are you? Okay, and where's that? Because I don't know where that is. Okay. Okay. So what time were you born, Tina? Sorry, what time? I didn't catch that. Okay, great. And shall I just put in, what is it, Rocky Point? Were you born in Rocky Point? Port Jefferson, okay. All right, so do you have a specific question for me today, Tina? Okay, all right. Okay, so you are an Aquarian. You have Scorpio rising and you have a Libra moon. Okay, so like let's put that together. Aquarius, quirky. What do you do, Tina? Ah, and how are you going with the lockdown? Have you been not working? Oh, those prom people. I know my friend's son is missing out on his prom. It's so sad. So sad. Okay. Sorry, what was that? Well, that's great. So you've got Venus, the planet of art, in Pisces, which is a very artistic sign. So you've actually got quite an artistic chart. But what you really need to know, Tina, is this, and I'm sure this is why the heavens have had you call me. You being an Aquarian, like all Aquarians, the next 2 years you're going to have Saturn in your sign, and essentially what that means is you have to work really hard. And so obviously now you can't work really hard because of the lockdown and all the rules, But it's a time for you to try and work out, I would say, just because we don't know what's going to happen with the pandemic as well. We don't know if it's going to go away and come back again, and then we will have to go in lockdown again. Maybe start to think about ways that you can earn money even when you have to close your salon, because, you know, it's good. It's like, because you've got Saturn coming into your sign, it's very much about being, you know, prepared. If you can be prepared, then you can get through this really well, and it will make you stronger. So, okay. Oh, and I took you a card, and you've actually got the new moon eclipse card. You've got the card that says expect powerful change. So if you want changes in your life, careful what you wish for, because they are coming. Let me just read you quickly the new moon eclipse card. Yeah, if you want an affirmation that you can achieve your dreams and get the desired outcome, then this is it. This is a card of beginnings, and there are powerful energies at work. So, and you are being shunted towards your life purpose. So maybe it's some of the stuff you're doing in lockdown that's actually part of your life purpose as well. You know, have a think about that. But do please, and all Aquarians out there, do please make sure that you work hard. And if you can't work hard, make a plan, because Saturn loves a plan. It's a really, really good time for you to get a plan happening. Thank you for calling in, Tina. It was great to speak to you. So I don't think I've got time for any more calls now. So I'm going to wrap things up and say next week we are going to be talking about moving towards the new moon. Those of you who are into manifesting, you will know that the new moon is the ideal time for manifesting. So we'll be talking about manifesting. Let me just see. The new moon, is it actually going to take place? Let me see what date it's going to be. So next week will be the 18th. Let me see very quickly here. Yes, we'll actually get the new moon next week in the sign of Gemini, which is where Venus is about to go retrograde. So wherever you have Gemini in your chart is where you are going to be feeling lots of action and tension and opportunities, maybe some frustrations, maybe some delays. So we're going to talk about that next week. For those of you who are new to all of this, we will be talking about how to make new moon wishes that actually work. I will give you a link to a worksheet that you can use to work with the energies of the new moon. And hopefully we'll also be able to do a lovely creative visualization meditation on air. So make sure you tune in. So just to remind everyone, I'm Yasmin Boland. I'm an astrologer. I'm a moonologer. And this is my new show, Weekly Astrology with Yasmin. And it goes out every week. I think it's 8 a.m. Pacific. Probably going to be 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. London time, and some crazy 1 a.m. in Sydney. I just want to say thank you so much to Unity Online Radio for having me, and to everyone who's called in. And I think we're about to play out with some music. So I'm wishing you a beautiful, beautiful week. And that's it. Okay, I was waiting for some music actually. Amazing. Thanks, Louis. Oh my God, I'm going to go lie down now. Speak to you next week. Have a great day. Have a great week. Bye. Oh my goodness. How did you go, guys? That was pretty intense. You're seeing all behind the scenes here. Hopefully you could hear the show. Thanks to everybody for staying on. Sorry I didn't take more calls. Yeah. I'm going to hang up now, and I'm going to go and lie down because that was a lot. Learning how to use all the technology. I couldn't see the questions, unfortunately, for some reason. I could only see like 4 things at a time, so I couldn't scroll through for questions, but next week, hopefully, I'll be able to. For those of you who join me on Facebook for my daily messages, 11 a.m, I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao for now.